Good afternoon. We're underway from DuPage Medical Group Field, where St. Francis takes on Trinity Christian in today's CCAC matchup. And a little bit late getting started here for our broadcast, but there is a man on first base for Trinity. We're in the top of the first inning, so we're only one batter into the game. Josh Caceres stands in the box right now, the man on first base. Tyler Peterson hit a leadoff single into right field. Peterson takes off. Caceres swings and misses. The throw goes down to second base, and it is not in time. So the runner is safe, stealing second. The batter is out on strikes. And there is a runner in scoring position for Trinity Christian, facing St. Francis right-hander Angel Sandoval. No score, just underway here in Joliet today. Get you the rest of the Trinity lineup in just a moment. Sandoval on the mound with one out, or two outs now, as there's a line shot up the middle and a base hit. And Anderson is aboard. That's a single to center field for Nick Anderson. Two outs in the inning. Peterson, apologies for missing this initially, but Peterson was called out at second base for interference on the batter on the swing. So he struck out swinging, and on the backswing called for interference. So a double out for Caceres, who goes down on strikes. Peterson caught out at second base on the result of that interference. So Anderson's at first base. Two outs. First pitch swinging. Morales grounds it to second base. The throw over to first is in time, and the inning is over. So a little bit of a wacky first inning. 2 hits for Trinity Christian, but no runs score as we head to the bottom of the first inning. St. Francis will come to bat for the first time in a 0-0 game. Bottom of the first inning, first chance up for St. Francis. Travis Schoonover leads things off. Schoonover, the right fielder for the Saints today, takes the first pitch from John Vanderwall over for a strike. The Fighting Saints were able to keep Trinity Christian off the board in the first inning despite a pair of hits from Trinity. There's a swing and a deep fly ball down the right field line, cutting towards the foul pole, and that ball is fair and a home run. Travis Schoonover goes deep for St. Francis, and they start the scoring off today, taking a 1-0 lead. That ball hooked towards the line, and then as it got closer and closer to that foul pole, it just straightened out, and it was able to sneak inside the pole by about 10 feet or so. No doubt fair ball and a homer for Travis Schoonover. Good start offensively for St. Francis here in the bottom of the first. That brings up Noah Carraro, the shortstop. First pitch is taken for a strike. John Vanderwall, the right-hander, is on the mound for Trinity Christian. Vanderwall, a senior from Orland Park, Illinois. Tosses a strike, and the count moves to 0-2. Vanderwall this season on the mound, 3-1 with a 3.57 ERA in 4 starts for the Trolls. Get you the rest of his numbers in just a moment. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. And Noah Carraro goes down on strikes. First out recorded by Vanderwall. He entered play today with 18 strikeouts in 22 2/3 innings pitched. Vanderwall has allowed 28 hits, 11 runs now. That was actually the 29th hit he's given up, and 10 of those runs have been earned. He's only walked 3 men in 23 innings pitched this season. So that's the big positive for him as Josh Tesh lines one just foul down the third base line for strike 1. Tesh looked like he had extra bases off the bat. Did not work out that way as he goes behind in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Tesh has padded his stats nicely of late as he bloops this one into center field for a base hit. Saints have their second hit of this first inning, and they've got a man aboard with 1 out. So Tesh pads his stats a little bit more with that single. He entered today's contest with a .314 batting average, 10 RBIs. More than half of those runs batted in came in 1 game. And a lot of those in 1 inning. Last week against St. Ambrose. Really nice road trip for him as the Saints return home. First pitch swinging, Joe McGuire grounds it to third. Scooped up by Peterson. He throws to second for 1, over to first. That's a double play. 5-4-3. McGuire, Tesh both retired. And the first inning comes to a close. But a good first inning for the Saints. At least it started well. Travis Schoonover, a fly ball over the right field wall and just inside the foul pole. His first home run makes it 1-0 Saints as we head to the second. First pitch swing, lined into left center field. A base hit as we get underway in the top of the second inning. Oliver Carmody is aboard, already the 3rd hit of the game for Trinity Christian. Good start offensively for them, though they're still looking for their first run. Back in the top of the first, Trinity got a pair of singles, but sandwiched in between was kind of an odd double play, a strike him out, not quite throw him out, but a strike him out, interfere him out, double play on an attempted stolen base from Tyler Peterson. So that cleared the bases with 2 outs and made the 2 singles pretty much harmless. But another leadoff base hit for Trinity. 3 hits among their first 5 batters. On a first pitch swing, a foul ball off to the right side and out of play. Hit by the left fielder, Hunter Slots. Slots is hitting 182 in 44 at bats this season. That's 8 hits. 3 of them have gone for extra bases. He does have 5 runs knocked in. He swings and foul tips it. Count moves to 0-2. Saints lead 1-0 on a Travis Schoonover home run. Schoonover's long ball led off the bottom of the first inning. It was his first home run, his 7th RBI of this season. Angel Sandoval sets for the 0-2. Popped up behind home plate and back out of play. Still 0-2. Angel Sandoval on the mound for the Saints. Never really had time to go through his numbers in the first inning, so bear in mind this is all pregame numbers. He's added 1 inning pitched to this since then, but I'll give you what I've got. He's 0-3 with a 3.38 ERA in 4 games. This is his 4th start of the season. He's thrown 10 2/3 innings. His 0-2 pitch is up high, ball 1. 14 hits allowed, 7 runs, 4 of them earned, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 311 opponent's batting average. So Sandoval has struggled a little bit at the start of his senior year, trying to pick up his first win today, and he's been spotted a 1-run lead. Tapped foul, good at bat for Slots as he's now fouled off 2 strike pitches. And he'll see a 6th toss from Sandoval, who went his season long in his last start. It was back on Sunday against Calumet College of St. Joseph, a game that the Saints ultimately lost. Fell in that one 8-4. But he's starting to round into shape. Remember, the Saints got the season started with a couple of games late last month. As Slots drills this ball foul to the left side and untouched by any defenders. Still 1-2. They played a couple of games in late February and then a handful the first week of March, and then they had to shut it down. The COVID break lasted 2 weeks. So the pitchers were just kind of getting their arms stretched out, and then they had to shut down for 2 weeks. And most of them were still throwing. That ball is flown into shallow right field. Travis Schoonover takes a few steps in and makes the catch. So a long battle between Slots and Sandoval, and ultimately goes the way of the pitcher on a fly out to right field. First out of the inning. And that'll bring up Will Culture. Culture, the center fielder, is hitting .219. He's got 2 extra base hits. Both of them, oddly enough, have been triples. No RBIs yet. A triple here would drive in a run. Ball high on Culture, 1-0. But just as the pitchers were starting to get their sea legs under them, start to throw a few more innings at a time, all of a sudden you shut it down for 2 weeks. And so they're kind of right back to where they started. Again, their arms are stretched out a little bit better. They have thrown some, but it's not where they'd like to be at the moment. Certainly not where they typically would be at the end of the month of March. 1-0 on Culture, who pops it foul to the right. That ball is going to get out of play. And the count goes to 1-1. But Sandoval was able to make it into the 5th inning last time around. And now looking for a strong performance in a 9-inning game today against Trinity Christian College. 1 ball and 1 strike. He showed bunt, pulled the bat back. It's a ball downstairs. The count moves to 2-1. Trolls entered play today with a record of 7-14 overall. 2-4 in the conference. Offense has not been their strong suit, just a .241 team batting average. There's a called strike, 2-2. They've helped that out a little bit. They're 3 of 6 so far in this game. So a bit of a boost to the average, but obviously we're very early in this game. They trail on the scoreboard 1-0 thanks to the Schoonover homer. Here's the 2-2. In the dirt, good block by Jake Lasota. Count moves to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Will Culture is the number 7 batter in Justin Heisman's order today. Nicholas Gutierrez is on deck, and then things round out with the number 9 hitter Brent Norkus, the right fielder. Full count pitch to Culture. Runner on the move. Pitch is tapped back to the mound over the glove of Angel Sandoval, and it ricochets off into no man's land, an infield base hit for Culture. Not much anybody could do about that one. It was a high hop off the artificial turf here on the infield. Sandoval made a leaping attempt for it off the bounce, and it was just out of his reach. He leapt and got his glove up, not quite high enough. It hit off the tip of his mitt and ricocheted off to the left side. If he lets that one go, and it's a tough one to let go on a ball he thought he could play, if he lets it go, maybe Noah Carraro has a play behind second base to throw out the batter at first. No chance they were going to get the lead runner. Nicholas Gutierrez swings to the first pitch and lofts it into shallow right. Long run in for Schoonover, but he gets there to make the play. 2 down. The runners hold their positions. It's Oliver Carmody at second base. Will Coulter is at first. And the batter is Brent Norkus. Norkus is the right fielder. Hitting .059 this season. That's 1 for 17. The first pitch he sees grounded right back to the pitcher. This time Sandoval makes the play. Trots over to first and flips it the rest of the way. A 1-3 putout. So Sandoval faces a little bit of trouble in the second inning with runners at first and second and only 1 out. But back-to-back first pitch swings result in back-to-back outs. And as we head to the bottom of the second, St. Francis holds a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the second inning. Saints turn to bat. They led off the bottom of the first with a homer. And now they look to get the second inning started off strong as well with Foster Heiss, the designated hitter in the batter's box. He swings the first pitch, hits it the other way out to left field. Hunter Slots moves over and makes the grab for out number 1. Heiss is retired in his first at bat. That'll bring up Dolan Nicholson. Dolan Nicholson had a game-winning hit in a big win on Monday afternoon as the Saints swept a doubleheader their last time at home. It was really a big day in terms of turning around the Saints' fortunes as Nicholson takes strike 1. It's too early to talk about the seasonal significance of that doubleheader sweep on Monday. You never know exactly how much it's going to mean in the long run, but they've certainly played better ball since then. Grounded to third, bobbled by Tyler Peterson, sticks with it and throws to first in time. He was playing in at third, guarding against the potential for a Nicholson bunt. And so, even though he didn't make that play cleanly, he was able to recover in plenty of time, not even a close play at first base.
Left fielder, number 20, Luke Ketchum.
Here's Luke Ketchum. Ketchum gets the start in left today over Sean Harper and takes strike 1. Luke Ketchum this season a .250 hitter. This is his 6th game started out of the 13 that the Fighting Saints have played. He takes a ball outside. The count goes to 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on base. Bottom of the second inning. Saints lead by a 1-0 count. Here's the 1-1. Nubbed back to the pitcher and caught on the fly by John Vanderwall. Quick close to that inning. A very fast worked inning for Vanderwall as he ends up throwing just 6 pitches in total in retiring the Saints in order. We'll head to the third. 1-0 St. Francis. 2 innings down, 7 to go. 1-0 St. Francis on the board first today, and Trinity Christian will try to match that with the top of the order here in the third. Tyler Peterson fouls back the first pitch for strike one. Peterson is 1 for 1. He led off the ball game with a single out to right field, a sharp line drive against Angel Sandoval, who fires another one. It's flown into left field. Long run towards the line for Ketchum. He's there, though. He makes the grab. 1 up, 1 down in the third. Perhaps Angel Sandoval is starting to settle in. 3 of the first 5 batters got hits off of him. Since then, he's retired 4 out of 5. And the only one to reach during that stretch was on an infield single on a one-hopper back to the mound that Sandoval couldn't quite reach. Here's Josh Caceres, the second baseman. Caceres takes the first pitch for strike one. Caceres struck out swinging back in the first inning, the only strikeout of the game so far for Sandoval. He makes contact this time around, flies it into shallow left, down the line into foul territory, and just out of play. Josh Kernbauer gave it a good run. Kernbauer leaning over the railing. Comes up just short on that one as it lands in the second row of seats. And Sandoval has Caceres where he wants him now with no balls and 2 strikes. Nick Anderson, the catcher, is in the on-deck circle as the 0-2 pitch comes in from Sandoval. Grounded back to the mound. Sandoval makes a nice snag at it and tosses over to first. 2 away. Sandoval fielding his position well. He missed that tough one on the high hop earlier, but since then he's had 2 balls hit back to him, and they've both been difficult plays, or at least not easy plays, and he's made them both look pretty easy. Here is Anderson. Nick Anderson having a good start to his season offensively, a .320 average, but he chases the first pitch here in the dirt, strike one. Anderson 1 home run, 13 RBIs. He's got 5 extra base hits in 50 at-bats. He takes another big cut. It's 0-2. Slugging .480 so far on the year. The last hope for Trinity Christian in the third inning. With 2 outs and nobody on, he swings and chops it to the left side of the infield. Charging is Kernbauer. Third baseman fires to first and fires it wildly to first. It ricochets out into right field, and Anderson dives into second on a 2-base error. So a man in scoring position for Trinity Christian. Sandoval was oh so close to his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Instead, Kernbauer commits the error, and there's a man at second base with 2 down, and a little bit of trouble now for Sandoval as he has to attack the cleanup batter for Trinity Christian. It's Michael Morales. Just a .219 average. He has brought home 4 runs this year and trying to add a few more, at least one more right here. Wild pitch from Sandoval in the first toss to Morales. Heads to the backstop and sends Anderson over to third. So just like that, we go from 2 outs, nobody on. And it looks like it's going to be an easy inning to 2 pitches later, a man at third base without a hit, just an error and a wild pitch. Sandoval's got to be careful. Can't uncork another one of those here. That was his first wild pitch of the season, so not exactly something you'd expect from him to begin with. He misses for ball 2, and the count is 2-0. That misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes. The hot-hitting first baseman, Oliver Carmody, is in the on-deck circle. Dangerous moment here for Sandoval with a runner at third base. 3-0 to Michael Morales. Finds the outside corner. It's 3-1. Through 2 2/3 innings, 5 base runners for the Trolls. Looking for their first run. Swing and a miss, 3-2. St. Francis in their 2 innings has had just 2 base runners, but one of them came in to score. Payoff pitch. Morales strikes out swinging. 3 straight from Sandoval after falling behind him 3-0. And he gets out of the jam. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and a man left at third base. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 St. Francis.
third inning.
It's the bottom of the third inning as the Saints bring up their bottom hitters. Up by 1 run so far. Josh Kernbauer leads things off. It's 8-9-1. Kernbauer is hit by the first pitch, and he'll head on down to first base. Slow ball got away from Vanderwall right there. It broke right into the leg, right around the knee area of Kernbauer. He is aboard to lead off the third inning. First pitch of the inning puts a man on base. And it brings up the catcher, Jake Lasota.
Number 14, Jake Lasota.
Lasota's been good at the plate so far this season. He's starting his 8th game out of the team's 13. 304 hitters, swings and misses for strike 1. He's got 9 RBIs, which ranks second on the team behind only Josh Tesh, who again got most of those in 1 game. Lasota's been a little bit more consistent in terms of driving and runs. This time he bunts back to the pitcher. A good bunt picked up by Vanderwall. The throw goes to first in time. It's a sacrifice, though. Lasota gives himself up and moves Kernbauer into scoring position. So we're back to the top of the order. And it's Travis Schoonover, who went deep to right field his first time up. It was his first home run this season for St. Francis as a team, the 7th homer this year. Schoonover takes the first pitch strike. 7 homers, a good number for the team at this stage of the season, considering all the cold weather. And playing the majority of games so far in this ballpark, which is not necessarily an easy one to hit it out of. 348 down the left field line, 327 to right. Schoonover fouls one off. The count is 0-2. All but a couple of their games this season have been played here. They went on the road for the first time this season on Tuesday at St. Ambrose. Long looking at the catcher, Nick Anderson, and too long for Schoonover's liking as he calls time and steps out of the box. Schoonover brought home the first run of the game and scored it as well, and now he's trying to bring home another one. This time it's not as difficult a task as there is a man already on second base for him. He swings and drives it into right center field. That ball stays in the air long enough for Will Kulcher as the center fielder moves over to his left and makes a nice running grab. Kernbauer saw it all the way, recognized that ball was going to be caught, so he went back to second to tag. He advances to third base on the play as Schoonover flies out to center, but that's the second out of the inning. So just like Trinity Christian before them, St. Francis gets a man to third with 2 outs. It'll be up to Noah Carraro to try to get him in. Carraro swings at the first pitch, taps it left side. Tough play for the third baseman Peterson. He gloves, throws, and gets his man. Got him by half a step. Carraro runs well. It took a perfect effort from Peterson there in order to get him, and Peterson made the play perfectly. He saves a run. So the Saints leave a man at third and do not capitalize on the leadoff hit by pitch. We'll head to the 4th. 1-0 St. Francis. Angel Sandoval to the mound to start the 4th inning. St. Francis on top 1-0 as Oliver Carmody leads off the frame. Carmody is 1 for 1, hit a leadoff single in the second and was ultimately stranded at second base. He takes ball one. Trinity did a good job of getting runners on early on, but didn't capitalize. They've left 4 base runners in the first 3 innings. There's a sharp grounder to short. Backhanded stop Carraro. Long throw to first, and a good pick by Joe McGuire. Carmody's out at first base. Hard hit ball. Carmody not the fleetest of foot, though he's certainly not slow. Noah Carraro was able to make the backhanded stop. Not an easy play just because of how long the throw was to first base. And the throw was low, but McGuire was able to pull it out of the dirt. And a nice job for the 6-3 putout to retire Carmody at the start of this 4th inning. Hunter Slots takes ball one. 0 for 1 so far in the game. He flew out to right field his first time up. This time he drives it into left field, just out of the reach of the leaping Josh Kernbauer, and it rolls to a stop in front of Luke Ketchum in left. A base hit for Slots. He is aboard for the first time today. It's the 5th hit of the ball game for Trinity Christian. 5 hits, but they've all been singles, and they've been scattered throughout the first 4 innings of the game. So it has not really been a huge problem for Angel Sandoval, who fires a strike on Will Culture. In fact, the biggest threat to Sandoval's game so far today came in the 3rd inning, the only one in which Trinity does not have a hit today. That courtesy of a 2-out error and then a wild pitch. There's a tapper foul. It's 0-2. Culture is 1 for 1. He hit an infield single his first time up. Sandoval looks to put him away on 0-2. One hopper to short, picked up by Carraro. He throws to second and gets the force. Nice job by Noah Carraro to make sure he got that throw there in time, and then Josh Tesh decided not to make a relay throw, probably the only decision he had. Slots is out at second base, 6-4. No chance to get Culture at first. He was way out in front of that one, so the batter is Gutierrez with the man at first and 2 outs. Tapped foul by Gutierrez, strike 1. Nicholas Gutierrez flew to right field in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1 in the game. Second time through the batting order has been a little bit smoother for Sandoval so far, looking for his 4th consecutive scoreless inning. Grounded to third, just outside the line. That's a foul ball, and the count is 0-2. 4 hits the first time through. No hits so far, 1 hit so far for the first 7 batters, the second time through the batting order. Will Culture's at first. He reached on a fielder's choice. Here's the 0-2 offering. Grounded to the left side. Kernbauer takes 1 step to his left. Fields throws high to first base. McGuire is able to pull it up and come back down onto the bag. So the Saints retire the Trolls once again as Trinity leaves yet another man on base. That's 5 through 4 innings and at least 1 in every frame. But Sandoval is in control so far as we head to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Saints.
Leading off the St. Francis 4th inning. the second baseman, number 9, Josh Tesh.
Josh Tesh is the batter as we lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. Tesh, McGuire, and Heiss due up against John Vanderwall, who's been good so far. Tesh flies this one out to deep left field. Long run back. Hunter slots at the warning track. He's out of room as that hits off the light pole over the fence. Another home run for Josh Tesh. 2-0 St. Francis on solo homers for Schoonover and Tesh, leading off the first and fourth innings respectively. That brings up Joe McGuire for Josh Tesh, home run number 3, RBI number 11. And McGuire takes a first pitch strike. Josh Tesh stays hot with a homer. Hit 2 of them in the 18-10 win over St. Ambrose earlier this week, and now he hits one today. So 3 home runs in the last couple of games for him as McGuire takes a ball outside. Both of his homers came in the 8th inning on Tuesday. That means that in the last 5 innings of baseball, he's hit 3 home runs. McGuire grounded into a double play his first time up. This time with nobody on base and nobody out. He fouls it away. It's 1-1. Josh Tesh, though, red hot with the 2 homers, 7 RBIs in that game on Tuesday, and now he's 2 for 2 today as well. McGuire drills one into left field. That's a hit for him. So he's put some good swings on the ball so far today. He's 1 for 2 now. Even though he grounded into a double play his first time up, he hit the ball hard that time as well. So 2 times up, solid contact both times. And he stands at first with nobody out for Foster Heiss. Heiss is 0 for 1. Flew out to left field in the second. Ball 1, low and away. 2-0 St. Francis, and for a team that doesn't hit for a ton of power. I mentioned that the 7 home runs they had hit through 13 games, not bad considering the time of the year, the stadium, the weather, all of that. Heiss taps it foul, making the count 1-1. Still, this is not a team that has won ball games consistently this year using Powerball, but the last 2 games they have. Long way to go still in this one, but they've got a 2-0 lead, and both of the runs have come on solo homers. Schoonover's first and Tesh's third. 1-1. Heiss hits it in the air, left center field, looking for the gap. It finds some green space out in the outfield. A base hit for Foster Heiss. Cut off by the left fielder Hunter Slots. He gets it back to the infield. Keeps McGuire at second base, and they're at first and second after back-to-back singles. That's 3 straight hits here in the 4th inning, opening things up.
Center fielder number 7, Dolan Nicholson.
Dolan Nicholson is 0 for 1, left-handed hitting center fielder with 2 on and nobody out. The Trolls are looking for a bunt. Nicholson gives it to them. Down the third base line, a good one. Barehanded by Vanderwall, throw to first, not in time. It's an infield single for Dolan Nicholson. That's 4 consecutive hits for the Fighting Saints, and they've got him loaded. Nobody out. It's in the bottom of the 4th as they try to break open a close game. The batter is Luke Ketchum.
Left fielder number 20, Luke Ketchum.
Ketchum lined out softly to the pitcher. His first time up, he's 0 for 1. Vanderwall's first toss. Swung on and hit on a line into center field. It drops for another hit. Everybody moves up 90 feet. A run scores. It's 3-0 St. Francis. 5 straight hits for the Saints. Ketchum picks up his 3rd RBI of the season. Nicholson to second. Heiss to third. McGuire scores on the play. And Josh Kernbauer is the 6th hitter of the inning after this meeting on the mound with John Vanderwall. The bullpen is empty for Trinity Christian. And I mean empty. There's nobody even sitting down there, so they're not looking to remove their big right-hander just yet. They're just trying to get him to settle down a little bit. Vanderwall has been the best starter on the team for Trinity Christian this year. He's been a strong pitcher for them the last couple of years. Not necessarily getting crushed here. He has given up the 2 home runs. Since the homer to Tesh, though, 4 straight singles. A couple of them have been hit on a hard line. The last 2, not so much, but Saints will take them. It's not the last 2. I was thinking more of Hyson Nicholson's hit. The bunt from Dolan Nicholson, obviously not a very hard hit ball. Heis kind of blooped it into left center. But they've all counted for singles as Josh Kernbauer stands in and swings through the first pitch for strike 1. 7 hits for St. Francis now. Trinity Christian's got 5. The big difference is that those 5 have been scattered through 4 innings. They have only once had a man as far as third base. St. Francis, among their 7 hits, 5 of them have come consecutively. Got them in bunches. There's a pop-up into foul territory. This should be the first out, and it is, as Oliver Carmody makes the grab in front of his own dugout. 1 away. It's a big out right there. Not only does Vanderwall get a grip on the situation a little bit, but no runners advance. He keeps the force at every base. Obviously nobody scored. Jake Lasota will try to add some to the scoreboard right here. Lasota, no official at-bat yet today. Up for the 2nd time. He dropped down a sacrifice bunt in the last inning. He swings late on a pitch that dips outside for strike 1. Saints 3, Trolls nothing. Solo homers for Schoonover and Tesh and an RBI single for Luke Ketchum have contributed to the scoring. The 0-1. Hard grounder past to diving Gutierrez and into left field. Everybody once again advances 1 base each. Heis scores. Nicholson to 3rd. Ketchum to 2nd. 4-0 St. Francis. Lasota takes first base, but he won't stay there. They'll bring in the pinch runner at first. Sean Harper is going to come in.
Your attention now, pitch running over at first base, number 22, Sean.
So the name Gutierrez, I believe, on that last call. The shortstop is Tyler Peterson, who dove for that ball, the third baseman. It got past him and into left field. And now it's Travis Schoonover's turn at bat. He takes ball 1. For the first time, some stirring down in the bullpen for Trinity. Schoonover is the 8th man to hit this inning. Jake Lasota's RBI, by the way, is number 10 for him. Schoonover pops it up, foul left side. Peterson over towards the seats, and he can't get to it. It drops foul for strike 1. That did not leave play. In fact, Peterson actually overran it a little bit. It dropped out near the bullpen. That's a tough play for the third baseman to make. A really difficult angle as he's going back and out for that ball, but he did overrun it. It dropped a couple of feet back behind him. And the Saints catch a break as Schoonover's at bat continues with a 1-1 count. There's a called strike. It's 1-2. Mentioned Lasota picked up his 10th RBI. Coming into this inning, he trailed Josh Tesh by 1 for the team lead, but his 10th does not give him the tie for the team lead because Tesh also has 1 here in the 4th. Chopper to 3rd. Peterson can't make the play as it scoots underneath his glove. A run is in. Ketchum rounds 3rd but holds where he is. And another run scores for St. Francis, 5-0. And I think that Tyler Peterson just took his eyes off that ball as it was coming in. He was looking up at the plate, wanted to make sure he could get the lead runner. And as he took his eye off the ball, it nicked in underneath his glove. An error on the third baseman. That keeps the wheels turning on this inning. Noah Carraro is the 9th man to hit here in the 4th. 4 runs are in. Carraro takes strike 1. Schoonover should get credit for an RBI there. It's an error. But even if they had gotten the out at first, a run would have scored anyway. Carraro hits it in the air out to shallow right. Brent Norkus comes in, makes the catch. Ketchum tags from third. He's going to try to score. The throw from Norkus is way off the line. And another run is in. Sacrifice fly for Carraro. The other runners hold. So Ketchum is in. Schoonover is at first, and Harper is at second. Courtesy runner for the Saints. Josh Tesh hits it high in the air to left field. He began the inning with a home run. He ends the inning with a fly out to left field. So the fourth comes to a close, but what an inning it was for the Saints. 5 runs, 6 hits, an error, 2 men left on. We will head to the fifth. A big lead now for St. Francis, 6-0.
There was 1 error and 2 runners. The right fielder.
Angel Sandoval back to the mound. He pitched the first 4 innings in a tight ball game, and now he's got some cushion. So his side leads 6-0. His first pitch is flown into shallow right. Joe McGuire backs up onto the outfield grass, and the first baseman makes the catch to retire Brent Norkus for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out in the fifth. A nice start for Angel Sandoval and the Saints here in this 5th inning. Here's Tyler Peterson, back at the top of the batting order. Peterson is 1 for 2. Led off the ball game with a single. Flew out to left his first time up. There's a strike called over the inside corner. Sandoval's been good today. He hasn't been great, but he's been good. 2 strikeouts. He's allowed 5 hits through 4 innings as Peterson pokes it foul to the left side. Strike 2. Sandoval's pitched around every base runner he's allowed so far, though. 5 hits, no walks, no hit batters. That's the best way to pitch around a lot of hits early in a ball game. Ball outside, 1-2. And all of the hits have been singles. I mentioned before, you can give up 5 hits as long as they're all singles and as long as they're not all back-to-back like the Saints did in the bottom of the 4th when they picked up 5 straight singles. Bounced foul, still 1-2. Saints also got the benefit of a home run and a costly error in that inning, but at one point they did have 5 straight hits. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Peterson goes down looking. Strikeout number 3 today for Sandoval. And there are 2 outs with nobody on base. Second time today that Angel Sandoval has retired first 2 batters of an inning. He's looking for his first perfect inning of the game, going up against Josh Caceres, who swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Shallow right. Travis Schoonover comes in. Schoonover puts it away and ends the inning. A very quick inning for Angel Sandoval. He throws just 7 pitches and setting the side down in order, and that's exactly what you like to see after putting a crooked number on the board the previous frame. We go to the bottom of the 5th at the halfway point. It's 6-0 St. Francis. Into the bottom of the 5th inning, St. Francis has the big lead, 6-0. Most of that lead came in the last frame. They scored 5 runs in the 4th. Joe McGuire contributed with a single and a run in that inning, and now he leads off the 5th. McGuire's 1 for 2. He takes ball 1 from John Vanderwall. Vanderwall, the senior right-hander, was cruising through 3 innings. He trailed 1-0, only because of a solo home run from the leadoff batter back in the 1st inning as McGuire grounds this one to short. Circled and bobbled by Nicholas Gutierrez. No play at first. So the infield defense the last couple of innings has left something to be desired for Trinity Christian and their head coach Justin Heisman. The leadoff man reaches for the 4th time in 5 innings this afternoon.
Designated hitter number 44.
Through 3 innings, the Saints had 2 hits, 3 total base runners, and 1 run. In the 4th inning, they had 6 hits, 7 base runners, and 5 runs. Here's Foster Heiss, who swings the first one and fouls it back. 0-1. Heiss is 1 for 2, singled and scored a run in the 4th. Flew out to left field back in the 2nd inning. Heiss, the left-handed hitting DH, awaits the 0-1. Knocks it down the left field line. That's foul down near the St. Francis bullpen. That makes it 0-2. The bullpen is active for Trinity Christian. A left-hander starting to get loose down there for them. On 0-2, Heiss takes low and away. Ball 1. Runner at first with nobody out. 1-2 count on Foster Heiss. McGuire takes a short lead, and the throw goes over to make sure that he closes up that short lead. Dolan Nicholson's in the on-deck circle, barring a double play. Luke Ketchum will hit this inning as well. John Vanderwall pitching out of the stretch. Sets and delivers. Bouncer down the first base line. That's a foul ball. Still 1-2 on St. Francis' senior DH. Fighting Saints playing game 1 today of a 3-game series against Trinity Christian College, the only one that'll be played here at home. Starting to spread their wings and move around a little bit more. To start the season, they went almost a month before hitting the road for the first time. Not that there was all that many games because of that 2-week pause as Heiss lines it into right field, a base hit. McGuire up to second base, and he'll keep going as the ball is overrun by the right fielder, Brent Norkus. Joe McGuire scores. Foster Heiss heads to third, and it's 7-0 St. Francis. That's a tough break for Vanderwall. He has struggled the last few innings, but here in this inning, his defense has let him down. 2 errors in the inning. That's a single for Foster Heiss, and then A two-base error on Brent Norkus, the right fielder. No RBI for Heiss, and it looks like that'll be all for Vanderwall. Runner at third base, nobody out, 7 runs on the board for the Fighting Saints. Fresh off scoring 18 on Tuesday against St. Ambrose. The offense has stayed hot, and it'll try to keep staying hot against a new pitcher in just a moment. I'll tell you all about him after I take a short break. 7-0 Saints in the 5th. New pitcher for Trinity Christian with Dolan Nicholson coming to bat, and the Saints leading 7-0. There's a man at third base with nobody out. A single and 2 errors has been the story of this inning so far. Dolan Nicholson takes ball 1 on the first pitch from Santino Domingo. Freshman from Elmhurst, Illinois. Domingo comes in for the 4th time this year. He has no record, a 6 even ERA in 3 innings pitched. He's allowed 2 runs on 4 hits with 3 strikeouts and 3 walks. And the count is even on Nicholson, 1-1. This inning began when Joe McGuire reached on a Nicholas Gutierrez error. Foster Heiss then lined a single to right field. Brent Norkus overran it. That allowed McGuire to score all the way from first base. And it allowed Heiss to make it all the way to third. So a single and a 2-bag error. So the second error of the inning is what chased Vanderwall, as the count is 2-1 from Domingo to Nicholson. Strike 2, and the count is even. Dolan Nicholson dropped down a sacrifice bunt attempt last inning. Ended up reaching base himself, a bunt single. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Looking for an RBI here with a man at third base. The infield drawn in. The left-hander Domingo sets and delivers. Floated out into left center field. That ball drops in for a base hit. Heiss comes in to score. Nicholson trying for 2. The throw is offline. And Dolan Nicholson has himself an RBI double. Risky base running by Nicholson, trying to stretch that to 2. But he made it in as the throw came in wild. A good throw. He would have been out, but the throw was not nearly at the bag. And so Nicholson picks up his 2nd hit of the game. It's his first double this season and his 8th RBI. 8-0 St. Francis. Here's Luke Ketchum. He swings and misses for strike 1. The 0-1 on Ketchum. Ground ball to the shortstop. Gutierrez gloves it. Throw to first is in time, and Ketchum is retired for the first out of the 5th inning. So that should close the book on the starting pitcher, Vanderwall.
Third baseman, number 12.
4 1/3 innings for him. Excuse me, he did not record not this innings, just 4 innings, 4+. He allowed 9 hits, no walks. He struck out 1. 8 runs so far have all been charged to him. Ground ball to short. Gutierrez gloves it. The throw comes home, and it's a wild throw. Nicholson is safe. Josh Kernbauer is safe at first base. Dolan Nicholson scores. It's 9-0 now, St. Francis. Nicholson's been living dangerously on the base paths this inning. Stretched a single into a double, relying on a bad throw to get to second base, and he got that bad throw, made it to second easily. And he would have been out by a mile at home plate just now if the throw had been on target, but the throw was way off to the first base side. So another negative play for Trinity Christian as Jake Lasota takes ball 1. So I believe will go as an error. It's a fielder's choice. So Lasota fouls it away, 1-1. Kernbauer safe at first on the fielder's choice, and still a good throw would have had Nicholson. But it's the second misplay of the inning for the shortstop Nicholas Gutierrez as Lasota lines it into left field. Another base hit for Jake Lasota. That's his second of the game. Kernbauer moves up to second. 2 on, still only 1 out, and we're back to the top of the order in Travis Schoonover. Sean Harper heads back over to first base. Harper, the designated pinch runner for Jake Lasota today.
Right fielder number 30, Travis Schoonover.
3 runs are in this inning for St. Francis. Travis Schoonover is the hitter. Schoonover takes ball 1. He's been on base twice today, a home run and an error. Officially 1 for 3. Bouncing ball down the first base line. It's a foul ball. 1-1. So the last run that scored was charged to Domingo. Santino Domingo has now faced 5 batters. So this is the 5th batter, I should say. He's given up 2 hits, gotten 1 out. Ball outside, off the glove of Anderson, and the runners advance. 2-1 on Schoonover, and the defense for Trinity Christian continues to be an issue. Second and third now. Still only 1 out. That takes the force play out of effect at second and third. Schoonover lifts it to left field. It's pretty deep, playable for Hunter Slots, but that should get a run in. As the catch is made, Kernbauer comes in to score. It's 10-0 St. Francis. Lasota, or rather Harper, remains at second base. 2 down in the inning. Schoonover has his second RBI of the afternoon. And that brings up Noah Carraro.
Shortstop number 3.
Carraro is 0 for 2. He's got a sac fly himself with an RBI. He takes strike 1. Carraro is the 8th hitter this inning. 4 more runs are in. Swing and a miss, 0-2. 2 of the runs have been charged to Domingo. I believe as of now they're both unearned. Got to sort some things out though. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning finally comes to a close. But it's the second consecutive big inning for the Fighting Saints. They scored 5 in the 4th, and they had 4 more in the 5th. We'll head to the 6th inning of play here in Joliet. 10-0 St. Francis. Angel Sandoval back to the mound. He's had some good rest. Sandoval came out for the 5th inning and threw 7 pitches. And on the other side of that top of the 5th, the Saints scored 5 runs and sent 10 men to the plate in the 4th inning, and then sent 8 men to the plate, scoring 4 runs in the 5th inning. First pitch is hit on the ground past a diving Josh Kernbauer. It stays on the infield, but it's a hit for Nick Anderson. The catcher has a single on the first pitch of the 6th inning. 6th of the game for Trinity Christian. Nice effort by Josh Kernbauer. He nicked it with his glove as he dove on by. Kept it on the infield, but not quite able to make the stop on the play. So Anderson is on base for the 3rd time today. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles and also reached on an error once. Here's Michael Morales. It's Morales with a Z, M-O-R-A-L-E-Z. Sophomore from Portage, Michigan, fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. So I wasn't actually clocking the last couple of innings, but I would guess that over the last half hour or so, St. Francis has probably been batting for more than 25 minutes of that time. Angel Sandoval got plenty of time to rest over on the bench, maybe more than he would like. It is a chilly day. Temperatures in the mid-40s in the area. Fouled away. It's 0-2. So you don't want to spend too much time sitting over on the bench letting that arm tighten up. But he's been impressive. He's gotten better as this game has gone on. Prior to that single, the infield hit for Anderson led off this inning. He had retired a game-high 5 in a row. There's a chopper down the first base line and just foul. It's still 0-2. The Trolls had 4 hits over the first 2 innings. They have just 2 hits over the next 3+ innings. Foul back, and Morales will see another 0-2. 3 straight foul balls from Michael Morales. He's seen 4 pitches in this at-bat already. The count still no balls and 2 strikes. Sandoval checks on the runner at first. Now his 0-2. Ground ball to first. McGuire carries it to the bag, throws over to second base, trying to get the reverse double play, but Anderson slides in safely. So there's a man at second base now. 1 out. Morales is retired, 3 unassisted. And that brings up the number 5 man, Oliver Carmody. Carmody singled his first time up. Grounded out to short. Last time around, he's 1 for 2. He swings the first pitch, lines that just foul outside the line, down in left field. Strike 1 on Carmody and a break for the Fighting Saints, who are trying to keep this shutout intact, as that ball missed the line by inches. 0-1. Looked like extra bases for Carmody. He's got 3 doubles so far this season among his 18 hits in 16 games played. The 0-1 pitch. Another hard hit ball, but again foul down the left field line. Count is 0-2. Max Downs, by the way, is the runner at second base. I was saying Anderson, but Anderson, the catcher, did leave after his single and replaced by the pinch runner Downs. Sandoval's ahead of Carmody 0-2. Ground ball to third, and again, it's foul. Peppering the left side of the field with hits, but has not yet been able to straighten one out a little bit and get it inside the lines. 3 straight foul balls to left. Carmody's got a chance at bringing home the first run of the game for Trinity Christian with a man at second base and 1 out. It's another foul to the left side. No runs, 6 hits, 4 errors for Trinity Christian. They've left 5 men on base so far. The 0-2. Ground ball to the right side this time, and it stays fair. Picked up by the second baseman Tesh, and his throw to first is in time to retire Carmody. Max Downs advances to third base, and he stands there with 2 down for Hunter Slotz. Leadoff infield single for Nick Anderson gave Trinity hope here in the 6th. They've still got that hope, as for the second time today, they've advanced a base runner to third. But it's going to require a hit from Slots here, who takes strike 1. Hunter Slots is 1 for 2. He singled in the 4th, flew out to right field in the 2nd inning. High pop foul to the right, out of play. 0-2. Sandoval's 1 strike away from pitching out of another jam. Trying to leave a 6th base runner for Trinity Christian. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled back behind home plate again. Probably going to jinx it right here, but Angel Sandoval has not thrown a ball yet this inning. He's had some long at-bats, with Trinity fouling him off with 2 strikes. This is his 15th pitch of the inning. And it's strike 3 on the swing. 15 pitches that inning from Angel Sandoval, all of them strikes. He gave up the leadoff infield single, but came back with back-to-back groundouts and a strikeout. And the Trolls leave a man at third for the second time today. We head to the bottom of the 6th. St. Francis has a big lead, 10-0. Josh Tesh has 2 hits today, including a home run. And he leads off the bottom of the 6th for St. Francis, up 10-0 over Trinity Christian. Tesh hits a grounder foul past third base on the first pitch of the inning, strike 1. Tesh hit a leadoff homer in the 4th. That made the score 2-0. At the time, looked like a big home run because this thing was gearing up to be a very tight game throughout. But since then, the Fighting Saints have added a bunch. Fouled away, it's 0-2. After Tesh hit that leadoff home run in the 4th inning, they came up with 4 straight singles. Ended up scoring 4 more runs that inning, and then 4 more in the 5th. 0-2. Santino Domingo misses inside, ball 1. Domingo getting his first start to an inning. He did pitch the 5th and got all 3 outs in the 5th, but he came in 2 batters into it with men on base already, or with a man on base. Soft liner to right, a base hit for Josh Tesh. 3rd hit of the game for the red-hot Tesh. And the leadoff man reaches for the 5th time in 6 innings today. Good piece of 2-strike hitting right there for Tesh, who's hit some towering fly balls to left field in his last couple of at-bats. This time he just pokes it into right in between Josh Caceres and Oliver Carmody. Here's Joe McGuire taking strike 1. McGuire has singled and reached on an error. 2 runs scored for the senior first baseman, who's been on base in 2 of his 3 trips to the plate. Hard liner to left, and that hangs in the air for Hunter Slots to make the grab for out number 1. It's a much harder hit than the one that Tesh connected on just a few pitches ago. But Tesh gets a single. McGuire gets a trip back to the dugout. Such is the cruelty of baseball sometimes. Or the good fortune of baseball if you're Josh Tesh. His batting average gets a boost. McGuire's does not. Here's Foster Heiss. He's had a big game at the plate. And he takes strike 1. 2 singles, 2 runs scored for Heiss today. Every batter, 1 through 9, in St. Francis' order today has at least 1 RBI or run scored. As that ball is grounded to first, the relay throw to first base, not in time for the double play, but they do get the force out 3-6. They tried to make it a 3-6-1 double play. Santino Domingo came back to first to cover the bag and was not able to make the play. He kind of stumbled on his way to first. Got over there just in enough time to make the catch, but not there for the out. So Foster Heiss is aboard on the 3-6 fielder's choice. Tesh is retired with 2 outs. The batter is Dolan Nicholson. Nicholson takes strike 1. Two for 3 today, a double, an RBI, 2 runs scored. That's the day for Dolan Nicholson, who takes strike 2. He's behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Domingo's next toss misses outside, ball 1. Lefty versus lefty, the 1-2 offering misses outside. Santino Domingo is 1 strike away from the first scoreless inning since the 3rd. After 3 innings, the score was 1-0. John Vanderwall really pitched well early on, and then everything fell apart once he reached the 4th. Domingo, though, looks sharp in the 6th as he strikes Nicholson out looking. And the Saints get a leadoff single, but do not advance their runner beyond first base. So we've played 6 out of 9 innings today, and St. Francis leads Trinity Christian by a 10-0 score. After 6, our score is 10-0 St. Francis, which makes this a big inning for Trinity Christian as they try to get at least 1 on the board with the bottom third of their order coming up. Will Culture, Nicholas Gutierrez, Brent Norkus due up against Angel Sandoval, who has been a strike-throwing machine. He pumps one in, 0-1 on Culture. Next pitch misses outside for ball 1. That's the first ball thrown by Sandoval since the 5th inning. He went 5 consecutive batters without missing the strike zone a single time. High fly, right field, playable for Travis Schoonover, who takes a step back and now comes in on it and makes the catch. Culture is 1 for 3. He's retired. Here's Nicholas Gutierrez. Trinity Christian, their most recent game prior to today, Tuesday against Roosevelt, they dropped a doubleheader 6-2 and 12-2. Nobody likes to take a 10-run loss ever, but you certainly want to avoid back-to-back 10-run losses. No runs, 6 hits, 4 errors for the Trolls today, 10, 12, and 1 for the Saints. Those 4 errors for Trinity have been noteworthy. They've led to run scoring as Sandoval misses the inside corner, ball 1 on Gutierrez. Mentioned that Sandoval had gone 5 straight batters without throwing a ball. Now he throws ball 2 on Gutierrez, 2-0. It's the first time he's gone to 2 balls on any hitter since the 3rd inning, 4 innings ago. But it had been 11 batters since his last 1-0 count. Strike called, 2-1. So 10 straight hitters saw a first pitch strike. The run is finally broken as Gutierrez fouls this one away. Sandoval has gotten himself right back into the at-bat. The count is 2-2. Nicholas Gutierrez is 0 for 2 in the game. He's flown to right. That was in the 2nd inning. Grounded to 3rd. That was in the 4th. 2-2. Ball upstairs. Full count. 1 out, nobody on base in this 7th inning. 10-0 lead for the Fighting Saints. Ground ball to 3rd. That stays fair. Just over the bag. Kernbauer throws to 1st. And a nice pick by Joe McGuire for out number 2. I'll tell you, Kernbauer and McGuire are loving this artificial turf. As everybody else on the infield is, I'm sure. But there have been a couple of nice picks by McGuire over there. And it's very reassuring knowing that you've got the true hop on every ball in the dirt. And that's what they've had. As Trinity Christian's last hope here is Brett Carrolls. Brett Carrolls pinch hitting for Brent Norkus here in the 7th with 2 outs and nobody on. Carrolls flies the first pitch out to right field towards the line. Long run Schoonover can't get to it. He plays it on a bounce and Carrolls is aboard. Snaps a string of 5 straight retired by Sandoval. 10 of the previous 11 had been retired by Sandoval, but Carrolls keeps things alive here with a single. For Brett Carrolls, that's the 3rd hit of the year in just 7 at-bats. And now it looks like we've got another pinch hitter. It is Jacob Hutcherson. Pinch hitting for Tyler Peterson. Hutcherson swings to the first pitch, drives it into left center field, playable, moving to his right. Dolan Nicholson makes the catch, and that will do it for St. Francis as they come onto the field to congratulate Angel Sandoval for a brilliant performance today. Didn't necessarily start out that way. He didn't look great in the first couple of innings. 4 hits among the first 7 batters. But he settled down, and the offense really gave him a chance to settle down because they poured it on. 5 runs in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, and they're able to run away to a 10-0 victory. For the 2nd consecutive game for Trinity Christian, play is stopped a little bit early as the 10-run rule has been enforced. And St. Francis takes another victory. That's their 4th in their last 5 games as they improve their record on the season to 6-7. And they've played some really good baseball of late. This one arguably their best game so far this year. Of course, they had the 18 runs that they put on St. Ambrose in a game earlier this week, but today they not only had the offense working for them, they had the pitching as well with a 10-run shutout victory. And Sandoval, who had been good through his first couple of games this year, but hadn't been quite as good as we've seen him the last couple of years. He throws together by far his best performance of the season, going the distance, 7 innings for the victory today. And after giving up those 4 hits in the first 2 innings, he allowed only 3 hits the rest of the way. Nice work by the Saints. We'll go back over the scoring in this game. It started very early for St. Francis in the bottom of the 1st inning. Travis Schoonover led things off, and he curled one just inside the foul pole, deep down the right field line. That made it 1-0 St. Francis. And they held that 1-0 lead all the way until the fourth inning. It didn't change. And we had a pitcher's duel settling in early on. But like I said, Sandoval wasn't necessarily at his best right at the beginning of the game. John Vanderwall was. Vanderwall outpitched Sandoval through the first 3 innings. But Trinity Christian left 5 men on base through the first 4, could not break through against Sandoval to tie the score or to take the lead. And so the Saints carried that 1-0 lead into the fourth inning. And that's when they blew it open. Josh Tesh hit a solo homer on the first pitch in the bottom of the fourth inning. That made it 2-0. Then McGuire singled, then Heiss singled, then Nicholson singled, then Ketchum singled. Ketchum's was an RBI base hit. Then Jake Lasota came up with an RBI single. That made it 4-0. Travis Schoonover reached on an error, scoring another run. It was 5-0, and Noah Carraro hit a sacrifice fly. By the end of the fourth inning, the score was 6-0. In the fifth inning, they kept pouring it on. Joe McGuire reached on an error. Foster Heiss singled. An error on Brent Norkus as he overran that ball in right field, allowed McGuire to score all the way from first base. Then a double from Dolan Nicholson scored Heiss. The Saints got another run on a throwing error from Nicolas Gutierrez later in the inning, and Travis Schoonover's sacrifice fly finished it off, made the score 10-0, and getting to that 10-run threshold is what allowed St. Francis to finish this game off early as Sandoval gets through the 7th, allowing just 2 hits over the final 3 innings to wrap up the shutout victory. He improves to 1-3 on the season. Vanderwall takes the loss and falls to 3-2. The win for the Saints as a team makes them 6-7, 4-3 in conference. Trinity falls to 7-15, 2-5 in conference. They'll see each other again tomorrow. They've got a doubleheader scheduled at Trinity Christian. We'll next see the Saints next week. They'll be back at home. Actually, it's about 2 weeks away now. April 10th is their next home game, and that's also against Trinity, but Trinity International. They've got a doubleheader scheduled here for April 10th. So a couple of weeks until we next see St. Francis play a home contest. You can get their entire schedule and all of their results at GoFightingSaints.com. That's going to do it for today's broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. A little bit shorter than we planned on, but for a good reason for Saints fans as they take a 10-0 victory over Trinity Christian College. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off from beautiful Joliet, Illinois. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.